Welcome to the Daily Sports Network. Enjoy the show.
What's up, guys? We are back for vlog number 2, and I spent time. I spent time thinking about what I was going to do in this vlog. Obviously, it's a very tough time, and that's not this kind of stuff isn't what I'm going to discuss on here because that is not sports. But I do want to mention it. I want to bring attention to it because, first of all, it needs attention brought to it. But I don't want anyone to feel like when I do these videos that we're not thinking or discussing or any of that kind of stuff. But obviously, it's a terrible situation. Obviously, um, you have to feel for everyone who deals with that kind of injustice. I kind of put this out on my Facebook. I put my thoughts there, so I'm gonna try to leave it there. But obviously, your heart and everything is with these people, and whether you're protesting or not, your heart's with everybody, because it's just a tough time and a possible time for everybody involved. But this is a sports channel. I'm going to try to keep it at sports. I'm not going to strive too much. I've made my comments, and I want to leave it that way. But the problem is right now, not a lot of sports going on. I have a few ideas coming up over the next few days, hopefully, that I can do a couple like top 10 lists on here, watch back highlight tapes on here and like talk about it, stuff like that. Couple ideas there, but right now there's not a lot. We are hearing the dates that are set for leagues coming back. NHL should be back, I think, if I have it right, the beginning of the next month, end of this month. At least to start, they're going to have a round robin tournament to determine the seeding and determine the top 4 seeding. So that's cool. Determine who's going to get the last couple seeds, which is cool. NBA is doing a similar thing. There's going to be 4 teams coming in, I believe, to fight for the 8th spot, I believe, in the Eastern Western Conference. So that's cool. The only thing I have with these sports is right now, for basketball and hockey, you played a full season, or a majority full season, 65 games, 60 games, whatever it was for most teams. I think it was closer to 65. And you built up a top seed. You built up a top 3 seed where you would have a home court, home ice, which is important in those sports, especially in playoffs. So what advantage are those teams getting by having the home field advantage, as we call it? What are they gaining in this series? What are they getting out of it? Because I can get it for baseball, which we'll dive into baseball in a second. But I can get it where they haven't started their season yet. So the home field, you're not building up all year trying to get that home field. It's not as thing, but the majority of the season, basketball and hockey, they none of this was expected, obviously. So they worked hard to get here. They worked hard to get that number 1 seed, get that number 2 seed. So I just don't know. And obviously at this point, they're just happy to play sports. We're happy to see sports. But I don't know what their advantage is going to be. And that means something. I know NBA talked today about different type of things that could be for advantages. Different type of things they could put in to give them an advantage. They seem so minuscule. It was an extra foul for teams that have the home court. You could bring your own court, your own hardwood. That's stupid. I just don't get any of those. Hockey, I haven't heard a thing about home ice. My assumption is you'll get a closer spot to your home when it comes to like they're using 3 hub cities, but you can't have fans. So I don't know. I don't know. The home court home ice advantage is weird. Something's got to be figured out there, I feel like. But yeah, basketball, I believe, is end of this month. They start camps up to get them ready. Basketball's talk is October. End of October would be the end of the season. So that does set a weird timeline for next year. Probably shortens next year's season if that's what they're talking about. Or maybe not shortens next season, but pushes it out a little more. Maybe it ends in August. Kind of deal with that for next year too. And NHL a little earlier than that. I think they finish. I think, could be wrong. But I mean, I don't want to dive too much into baseball because I kind of talked about it the other day. I don't want to beat it down, but we're at a point where I think the back and forth between owners and players has reached a head, and I feel like now it's becoming a true negotiation, which is maybe good. I felt in the beginning that it wasn't necessarily a negotiation. It was just they wanted this, they wanted that, and no one was budging. But now I feel like both sides are starting to budge in certain ways, and that makes me feel a little better about it. I thought all along, I thought they'd get a, some sort of deal done in the 11th hour, like the last second before they can really have trouble. They'd get something done. I'm more optimistic that something gets done. I think it'll be in the 75, 80 game range. I think a big hurdle was the base of the players that were wanted to, once they found out that owners were okay with prorated, became a discussion again. But the problem is, this is the problem we have. The players agreed to a deal back in March. So did the owners, but the players agreed to a deal that the owners could pick how many games were going to be played, and it would be prorated salary. So basically what the owners are saying now is, okay, fine, we wanted that much less money. We're just going to make it a 30-game season. You agreed to this. We could choose how many games we're going to play. It'd be prorated salary. That's the problem. And that's the negotiation we're going to have. And at that point, what legs do the players have to stand on if they agree to a deal already like that? And then you're talking about in 2 years, you're going to have a new CBA coming up. So now you have to deal with these negotiations again in 2 years. And now you just had a deal in place with the owners to let them pick the amount of the game of the season. And then you decide not to sign that deal if they go where you don't want them to go. Now you've set a terrible precedent and a terrible faith for the next collective bargaining agreement. So it's a weird spot. I think something gets done. I think you see baseball middle of July to end of July get a start date. I do. I think my guess, like I said, is that 65, 70 game range, maybe a little higher. 65, 70 is probably where I'm at. Still makes it a semi-regular season. And I think it gives some allure to every game. Every game's really going to count, and I think that's fun for a fan. If it's 30 games, I don't think it doesn't. You don't have fun with that, in my opinion. I don't think every game really will matter, but it's such a crappy season. 65, 70, I feel like is almost better than if you have like 100 because it means something. It's not a full season. It's different. I don't know. I just think I want to see sports, and I think I need to talk about stuff. I need stuff to talk about. So that's what I need. I need sports back. Basketball's back. Hockey's back. Football will be on time. I'm not worried about that unless something perks back up. But yeah, baseball. I think a little bit after hockey and basketball will be back. I think they'll figure out something. But what that brings to my point is September and October is going to be crazy. I almost said lit. Now I've said it, so I might as well talk about the word lit. I hate that word, but I say it so much, and I don't like saying it on like vlogs and stuff. It's kind of silly. But yeah, it'd be lit, as they would say. But it's going to be crazy. September and October. You're going to have basketball leading into the playoffs. I mean, playoffs, hockey, playoffs, football, regular season starting, college football, regular season starting. The Masters, I believe, has been rescheduled to November, I want to say. The Kentucky Derby or the Preakness, one of the two, maybe the Kentucky Derby, is going to be Labor Day weekend. Can't see my hands, that's 6. Baseball will be leading into the playoffs, getting close to the playoffs in that swing. 7 major things happening in the matter of 2 months that we're not used to having. And August, which is used to being a month that is just meh, just baseball and preseason football, is going to be packed with stuff. So if you're a sports fan, as much as this whole period's been hard, we're at a point now where I feel like we're like, okay, we're okay without sports mentally. But the minute we see one sport, and then we're going to realize that we're going to get 10 sports at a time, poof, it's going to be fun. And for me, I mean, a lot of you guys that are listening may not know me. I am a bartender at Dave and Buster's, which is a sports bar. So if things reopen in that regard, and there's 7 major sports on in September, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. To touch on that quick though, me being a bartender, doing this on the side, it's not gonna be a worry about having content coming out. I have content backed up right now that I'm trying to hold off of sending out, because it's stuff that's not timely necessarily, but it's nice content. I just feel like there's not so much to talk about right now that those untimely pieces, I need to start sending them out. So I don't know how that's going to work, but we're going to have plenty of content. I sent out today. Actually, let me finish the sports talk, and we'll get into the house cleaning odds and ends after. But yeah, so sports gonna be back. Sports gonna be back and furious. I think basketball and hockey still have. You talk about, well, if this happens, if they have this lockout, or if lockout, I'm saying, if they have this issue and they play a shortened season, what does it mean for the champion? Does it taint their championship? I'd say no, unless baseball gets down to a 30-game season. I think 70-game season, you still have enough to give them a championship. Basketball and hockey, I don't think anyone will look at them differently. I mean, you'll look at it, you'll be like, oh, that was the Corona season. Wow. But I don't think it would be like, oh, it was a Corona season, they don't deserve it. That's my point. Unless like an 8 seed knocks off a 1, then you can blame the home court advantage possibly. Then we have a different discussion. But if it's like Lakers, if it's the Lightning, and if it's the Astros again, who we've talked about baseball before, and I want to jump into that one day again, but I think the Astros will still have a good year if the season's anywhere complete. But those 3 teams, they'd be like, okay, they deserved it, Well, people would argue maybe the Astros didn't deserve it, but the garbage cans and that kind of stuff. Remember the garbage cans? Yeah, that was something. Yeah, so sports is coming back. And yeah, that's kind of where I wanted to go with this. Just quick vlogs, trying to get some stuff out, get some content out for you guys. Vlog number 1 went well. But yeah, the odds and ends stuff I wanted to talk about. I posted today a schedule for the Coach's Corner. Like I said, I have a bunch back saved, so I'm trying to send them out as I see fit. Excuse me. But every Friday they come out. I sent a little thing out today for June 5th, June 12th, 19th, 26th. So every Friday for the next month. I'm gonna have this Friday will be Coach Peyton Hobbs. Next Friday will be Coach Dom Guglielmo. Friday after that, the 19th, will be Coach Riley Hill. And then the 26th will be Coach Matt Rogers. So those are the next 4 coming up. Trying to keep them to just Fridays. We've recorded a few more too, so we have a good list of coaches that we're going to send out. A good, nice catalog. Trying to get more different sports coaching wise. I like the football aspect right now. I love it. I love talking to those guys. Trying to add a little more depth to it with other sports, baseball, basketball, hockey. So we'll see where we get there. But yeah, sent that out today. I also sent a couple things out, about what we're doing, where to find us. The merchandise page, which is bonfire.com/DSN-podcast-1. I could have had that wrong. I always put it in the link right below the description. I did it last week too. So down below, you'll see the description. for the merchandise, for my Instagram, for the podcast. Podcasts, this week we have one coming out. I thought about doing one yesterday. Yesterday social media wise probably wasn't the best day to be putting any content out as I talked about. So podcast wise, we have the Coach's Corner on Fridays. I'm trying to figure out a show for a weekly show on a Monday, Tuesday type thing. That's still in the works. We're trying to figure out the best way to do it, and the best way to go about it. Figuring out if we can have another co-host, if we're gonna add some more guests at that level. I got to figure it all out, and we're still working through this. That's why I'm adding these vlogs, extra pieces of content. I will, regardless of what I decide to do with that podcast, I'm going to try to get a second piece of content out, even while I'm waiting to figure out what I'm doing next. Second piece of podcast content. So 2 podcasts a week at least. I would like to have 3, but right now it's just not a lot's coming out. So I'm trying to get back on track there. But yeah, as always, by now, you know where to find us. Spotify, the Daily Sports Network Podcast. I actually think it's Daily Sports Network Podcast Network. Sports Network. No. Daily Sports Network Podcast. What just happened? I've had a couple moments the last few days where just my brain is fluctuating. Daily Sports Network Podcast. That's Spotify. That's Apple. That's Google. Breaker. Use Breaker. Breaker's pretty cool. I went on there the other day because I wanted to see my numbers on it, and it's pretty cool. Pretty fun. Anchor.fm. Let me get an Anchor.fm hat to wear to these things because I love them. YouTube now. You're on it right now, so you don't need to get a link to it. Well, if this is posted anywhere else, Daily Sports Network on YouTube. Instagram, Daily Sports Network Podcast. Facebook, Daily Sports Network Podcast. And merchandise we talked about. I said I might have that link wrong. I think it's bombfire.com/DSN-podcast-1. But again, it'll be down below in the description. All that stuff will be in the description. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your night. We will see you on Friday for the Coach's Corner. Possibly another vlog tomorrow. Probably, I don't know. We'll see if something comes up. But yeah, we'll see you Friday for the Coach's Corner with Coach Peyton Hobbs from Houston University. He's the defense coordinator over there. So that'll be a fun one. So we'll definitely see you on Friday. And stay safe and God bless.